Okay.
Let's see. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let me know if there's an echo on my show. See something. For the people in the comments, let me know if there's an echo.
Let me turn that other mic. Oh, I can turn it. Make sure those other mics are on. Oh, there we go. So that way it'll be just the feed there. All right. That should take it. There's an echo.
Oh well, I can hear it here on the headset. So let me put this over here.
Oh, that. Yeah, you need it. So
I can hear you talk already. So
yeah, but you're gonna need to hear him.
well, he's not hooked up to this though.
No, but your mic is.
Gotcha. Hold on, let me see when he pops in. Yeah, hold on. Lola said there's an echo.
Okay, so can you? Okay, unplug. Actually, unplug that and see what happens.
Okay.
No, just pull the whole thing out. Now my mic won't work on there. So
Let me know if there's still an echo, Lola. Okay, Brother Ross says cleaned up now.
can you hear me?
I mean, I can hear you, but on that channel, I don't know if they can hear you. Can you guys hear Mark?
Oh, yeah, let me turn. Okay, still echo.
All right, they said it's clean sound right now.
Okay. Yes, there's an echo.
Okay. They said, "What's going on, Brother Roz? What's going on, Joe Gonzalez? I love weed. I love weed. What's going on, my guy?"
I sound like crap. Okay.
Somebody probably just said that as a troll. I don't know about over there. I can't really hear.
Okay. Oh, I know why. Wait a minute. So I think it's because we're in here.
What? Because you're right next to me.
Yeah, I think that's and because it's going through my system because I'm streaming back and forth with you. So maybe what I need to do is not be part of the stream. Just let you guys talk. Well, no. DT says there's no echo now. Okay. I don't know who's because now I got it's still bad, bro. Better. We can hear both of you. It's your default mic, Mark. I think your broadcast mic unplugged. I turned off all my mics, and it's probably because I am okay. Hold on. Let's see. Both mics are picking up. Mark. Hold on.
In the meantime,
turn that off. You're not going to hear it. They're not going to hear it.
Yeah. In the meantime, guys, offer any questions. Feel free to offer any questions because what I'll do is I will open it up for Kyle when he comes through, and anything you guys want to ask. If they seem like good questions. I'll feel free to facilitate them as well. I have a couple of players. That I don't know. Let me check.
You will be sued.
And don't listen to these people. That just sounds stupid. We'll be sued for what?
How's the rehab going? Hey, DMV. Okay, is it? Well, I'm not. I've got all my mics cut off, and actually, but see, you're not going to hear anything because I don't have the stream on. It has to be. That has to be on. Okay.
Somebody say you sound good.
You go and talk.
Hello. Yeah, Adam Scott said everybody says it sounds good now. You're good, Mark. You're good, Mark. You're good, Mark.
Okay. And they can hear me?
Oh man, Joe Gonzalez with another $20 super sticker.
Okay, super sticker.
Yeah. See, look, I'm keeping count.
Okay. All right. So I don't know how well they can hear me and all that, but it's cool because it's not about me. Now the only thing is I can't hear Mark has a slight reverb with his mic. My mics are all cut off. Seriously. Every mic of mine is cut off.
So I have a list of players that I want to ask Kyle about when he gets in the studio in hopefully about 4 minutes.
Okay.
The list of players that I have and is Marquise Bell, TJ Vasher, Jake Ferguson, Kelvin Joseph, Tony Pollard, Donovan Wilson. I want to know about the kicking situation because we haven't heard anything about that at all, and that's important.
Okay. The one thing, how are you hearing him? How are you going to hear him?
I won't know until he gets here.
Because I think you can set it on so you can hear your speakers will be your computer speakers.
Okay, Kyle just got in now, so let me see. What's going on, my guy? How are you doing?
What's up, y'all? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
We can hear you perfectly fine. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, thank you for stopping by, man. How do you feel, man? How's the energy out in camp, man?
You know, it's compared to last year, it's a little bit different. I felt like last year there was kind of a new hope. There was kind of an electricity to it. I feel like this year there's a little bit more skepticism, but there's also like more intent with it. Like it's very interesting kind of to see the balance between the two. These are the only 2 times I've gone to Oxnard because my first camp was 2020 when we were at the Star and we were doing it all virtual and stuff. So this is only my second time. So I've got a direct comparison between last year and this year. And I feel like that's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. But before I do that, man, I wanted to introduce you to my guy, Mark Holmes. And Mark Holmes is we consider him, between him and John Shango, the godfathers of this Cowboy YouTube movement, man. So everybody that you might know, Law Nation, Vox Lombardi, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been on this couch that I'm at right now.
What he's saying is he's an old fart.
hey, there's veterans and then there's goats, and it sounds like you're a goat. Like that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely a GOAT. And he'll be out there next week, too. So you guys should link up.
Definitely. We'll be there Monday, land Monday morning. So I'll be there Tuesday for practice. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Can't wait. Haven't been to training camp since, I guess, 2019 might have been the last year I was there.
Yeah.
And looking forward to getting back again and seeing everybody working on the field and seeing some of these camp battles. So let me ask you, what's the biggest battle that you've seen so far? Is it KJ versus Anthony Brown? Is it Vasher versus Semi? Is it who? What's the biggest buzzword you got?
Yeah, I think early on, like the one that we've had the most eyes on has to be the offensive line, and you're looking at Tyler Smith versus Connor McGovern. But really, until you get the pads on, it's really hard to kind of call that a battle. You can only look at really rotations at the moment. So I'll go to Vasher and Semi. I mean, these are 2 guys that are not only talented and they have the traits to be an NFL wide receiver, but they're fighting to stay on the roster. And I think that's kind of something to keep in mind. And I just wrote an article today, a Battlegrounds. It's part of my Battlegrounds series that's kind of going through camp battles. And I put a little bit of respect on Noah Brown's name. I mean, he's been easily the second most consistent receiver in the group outside of CeeDee Lamb. It's really been CeeDee and Noah Brown as the 2 guys, along with Dalton Schultz. I'm not really counting the tight ends in that conversation. But those guys are really at the top of the list. And then it's a bunch of guys who have had ups and their downs. Vasher being one of them. He's had the biggest up of camp with the grab that he made today. It was absolutely phenomenal. But then it's also he's had the downs where he's either been shut down by Kelvin Joseph or he's been able to get past Kelvin Joseph, or Anthony Brown's been knocking down passes and stuff like that. So I think those are probably the guys that I would say have had the best battle to this point, but still there's a long way to go, and you got to get the pads on before you really get to see the stuff start flying.
Can't wait till Monday when they do get the pads on.
So I'll ask you this because I mean, from what I look like, it really, from my vantage point, it looks like they're still kind of physical even without pads. You had the opportunity to look at camp last year and then camp this year, and you talked about it being a little bit different. Do you feel like there's more of a chip on the shoulder this year as far as competitiveness?
Yeah, I think that kind of goes into what I was saying earlier. The electricity that I was really talking about was coming from the fans' standpoint. The fans have been great out here, don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but really the players' standpoint has been focused. I mean, they've been ultra efficient. They haven't had a sloppy practice. The offense, though they were a little slow and they were probably a step behind the defense to start, have really started kind of coming on toward the back half of yesterday's practice. And then I thought today was their best practice so far. So you really see an intent, you see an intensity to find a way to get better every day at this point in the schedule. Because yeah, you're right. Even though there's pads on or not pads on, there's a ton of physicality. I mean, even in the trenches. I mean, these are guys going head to head, mano y mano, and
Yeah.
Micah Parsons was shoving guys out of the way and putting them on their butt yesterday. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on at the moment that has been really entertaining to watch. And I think even with the pads off, it's still continued that physicality.
So they're definitely chomping at the bits for some physicality, is what you're saying.
I think when Monday
Everybody.
comes around, they're going to be ready to go. I'm ecstatic. Like you just said, I can't wait for next week. I think next week is going to be as entertaining of a practice week as we've seen in Oxnard in years. And even though this is only my second trip personally to Oxnard, I mean, I've followed the team forever. I've been a Cowboys fan since I can remember and back when I was a kid. So I've always really kept up with Oxnard and the training camp and everything that's gone on here. I'm really excited for next week and see what it comes.
Yeah, so I have a question because it sounds like you have a lot more confidence, just like Mike McCarthy, from last year to now. And I know that Dave Hellman kind of moved on to Fox Sports. So are you kind of filling in those shoes? Are you the new Tiny Jim?
Oh, no. I can never replace Tiny Jim, especially because I'm 6'3", so it doesn't really work out the way it doesn't work out from a physicality standpoint, man. And we announced it today that replacing David Hellman, Patrick Walker from CBS Sports is
Wow.
the new
That's
hire. Dude, he's phenomenal. We're all super excited to have him on board. We already miss Dave, and we've seen him out here. He's been out here since the beginning, so it's weird seeing him across the way, and we get to talk to him every day. But man, we miss having him on our side, and he's a personality that just pure and simple. It's impossible to replace. But Patrick, he brings his own personality, and so I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm doing my best to fill the cracks and to provide great content, but those are two giants, and I'm just trying to keep up at the moment.
You're doing a great job with it. Can I let me ask you from last year? We know Dak ended up throwing his arm out early in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
But describe his footwork and stuff from where he is right now to where he was last year. How big of a difference do you think it is from then to now?
Well, I'll kind of go by what Dalton Schultz said yesterday in his media availability, but he was talking about the extra velocity on his passes, on Dak's passes, and the way that he was able to put a little bit of zip on his throws throughout the entirety of camp to this point, and even going back to the offseason. I mean, these guys, of course, they had the mini camps, they had the OTAs, but they did offseason work on their own to kind of get to this point and make sure that they were ready to go for training camp. And Dalton was asked that exact question: what has been the biggest difference? And he's saying the velocity. He's saying that not only the accuracy is there, but certainly the way that he throws the football, it's been really, really entertaining to watch. And we could see it during OTAs. I mean, I remember putting out notes during OTA practices about the fact that that he does have that zip back on the ball that he never necessarily found following the calf injury, or even at points during camp last year following the shoulder injury when he was very, very limited to the throwing. So I think that's a great sign for Cowboys fans to see that, hey, Dak is not only healthy, but he's improving, and you can see it from some of your top targets as well.
Yeah, I think you looked at him the second half of the season after he hurt the calf. It seemed like that calf was really bothering him because his mechanics looked so far off. So many times when you'd see him outside running and passing, it looked like he would get up off the ground because it's like, I can't push off on it, and I don't want to be stressing it. And it seemed like he didn't really have a lot of velocity. So hearing that he's definitely able to do the Dak dance again and being able to put his foot into it and really let it rip, it's great to hear.
Yeah.
He's done plenty of the Dak dancing. He was at a youth camp a couple weeks ago, and he was
Yeah.
doing
All that.
some
That was
shimmying
great.
back and forth.
Yeah, and speaking of which you kind of brought up a surprise saying that Noah Brown has probably been the second best after CeeDee Lamb, and that might mean that Noah Brown has stepped his game up, or that might mean that the rest of the receiving core has been inconsistent. In your mind, do you feel like it's good enough without Michael Gallup right now, or do you feel like maybe they just need to show a little bit more?
I think it might be a little bit of both. It's really too early to tell. I mean, this is the third practice of the summer, or excuse me, of training camp. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a ways to go until I can really give you a complete answer on that. But I was more of giving credit to Noah Brown because Jalen Tolbert's a rookie. He's in 3 practices into his NFL career, at least full blown practices into his career. You look at James Washington, he's been a little bit banged up throughout the offseason. And even in the first practice here, he didn't necessarily come out 100% healthy, but he's been able to stay on the field and provide some meaningful snaps. I just think Noah Brown at the moment shows the consistency. He hasn't necessarily shown the flash of a CeeDee Lamb, or maybe even compared to the catch that we've seen from TJ Vasher a couple hours ago. But I would say that Brown's just been consistent. He's found separation. He's found holes in the defense, and he's provided an opportunity for Dak Prescott to throw the football in a meaningful way. And in the article that I put up today, there was a 20-yard pass. There was a 15-yard touchdown. And then there was another one that was off a tip pass where he was going up against Trayvon Diggs, and he adjusted to the ball, made the grab, and even would have had a little bit of a yards after the catch to follow as well. So there's a little bit more to Noah Brown stepping up his game rather than the rest of the receivers not stepping up theirs.
Gotcha. Okay. DT wants to know who the young lady you're working with is.
What was that?
Somebody said who the new young lady you're working with.
It's Britt Johnson is her name. She was hired at the beginning of last season. She's actually coming from California. She went to Fresno State, lived in LA. She's been a great addition to the team. She does a ton of the interview work and the hosting at the same time, hosts a couple shows throughout the offseason. So yeah, absolutely look at her stuff on YouTube, and then of course follow her. I think she is I am Britt Johnson on Twitter as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I know that on day 2, I know that Micah Parsons and CD got together and they were asking who was getting the better of which, and they said the defense was kind of getting the best. And CD said, he kind of cited that it was more so because the offense wasn't scoring touchdowns, but it seems like they scored a bunch of touchdowns today. Has the early success of the defense really been because the defense has been that good, or is it just that the offense just it's just a little bit out of sync right now, and they're going to pick it up, and you can see it coming?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's funny because I was the one that actually asked that question, and I was kind of expecting a little bit of trash talk back and forth between the two. And the fact that Micah was like, yeah, man, like we've been great. And I think he kind of picked up what I was trying to get there. And then CD was totally truthful. He was like, yeah, man, we're just not there yet. I think that the offense, it always seems this way whenever you get into training camp, because there's an install process. There's the playbook you've got to learn. There's kind of a rhythm you have to get into from an offensive standpoint before they really catch up to the defense. But you also got to remember, I mean, this defense is returning the majority of the key players that they had last year.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
Really, outside of Randy Gregory, you have most of, if not all of the guys who made a significant impact on your defense back from 2021. And so even then you have Sam Williams and Dante Fowler Jr., who you're really excited about and are really chomping at the bits to watch whenever they get into padded work next week. So I think it's the offense, just a natural progression of getting through the early days of camp, but also you look at the defense and what they bring back. It's not really a surprise that they've looked so dominant through these first couple practices.
You got anything, Mark?
Yeah. Well, what excites you the most? What battle excites you most, or who are you most looking forward to taking a big step this year?
I would have to say it's probably Tyler Smith. I mean, the more that I really looked into that pick, the more that I got excited about what he could bring from not only a youthful standpoint for the offensive line, but an immediate impact in the run game. And that's one of the things that, looking back to last year, I really wanted to see an uptick in. I wanted to see a dominant run game when need be. And the Cowboys didn't really have that toward the back half of the season, partially because both Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott were a little bit banged up, but also because the offensive line was a bit of a revolving door and there wasn't necessarily any consistency up front from those guys.
Yeah.
So I think Tyler Smith provides not only flexibility, but some strength in the run game. And I think that's what I'm most excited for. On the defensive side, I'm ready for an encore season of 3 guys: Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons, Jalen Kearse. I mean, how could you get that production again? Because if you do, I mean, all 3 of those guys should be in not only all pro conversation for Trayvon and Micah, but I think Jalen Kearse needs to be in a Pro Bowl conversation as well. And he wasn't necessarily last year. If he does it again, has a repeat season, he could certainly see that as well.
Well, you look at his numbers and what Pro Football Focus did. I'm sorry, the Madden ratings did to him. It's a crime. 20. His numbers were as good as Buda Baker's.
Yep.
His numbers were consistent with the guys in the top 6. And I'm just looking at that, and it's like you're just not getting any kind of respect whatsoever.
Well,
that was a travesty.
Well, I want to ask you about the Cowboys around the building as far as the staffers and stuff. Do they really take PFF and all of that stuff like serious, or Madden ratings? Like,
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I will say you use it to supplement your opinion on guys. You don't use it as the concrete 100% what you should go by. It's not a bad thing to look at Pro Football Focus because they keep some snap counts. They look at positions. They look at the percentages. Like, those types of things are great. In terms of the grades and stuff, it's interesting to kind of look at comparisons between the two. But ultimately, you got to build your own opinion. I mean, they do a fantastic job over there, but don't use that as a Bible. Use it as a tool to instead build your own opinion and kind of work into what you believe these players are and what they can be.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, do these players feel like they've taken a step back from where the team was last year? Like it's been said by everybody that the Eagles are the cream of the crop? Are they taking it personal?
I think they're taking it personally a little bit. I mean, you just hear the way that they talk, and there is a bit of a chip on the shoulder, I think, from a lot of these guys, and they're tired of really hearing the same old Cowboys talk. And hey, we're taking a step back this offseason. They feel confident that they're going to be able to make a run, but like I said, it's a long season. You got to get there first, and there's a long training camp to go as well.
Sounds great, man. Well, I can't wait to get out there on Monday to see it for myself, especially when the pads go on, because that's when the rubber meets the road. And hopefully, knock on wood, we can stay injury-free, because I think that's the key. I actually, I'm old, like you just said, calling me the GOAT. Back in my day, we had, 6 weeks of training camp and, 2-a-days, full pads with a special team practice in the middle, and it was hit. But I'm liking the approach that it seems like Mike McCarthy and them are taking, that we don't want you going balls to the wall day one and getting a soft tissue injury, and trying to ramp it up a little bit more to try and make sure that these guys are as healthy as possible. Because, quite frankly, I think injuries were really what derailed our season. As much as people want to say, Dak sucks and all that, but when you started having all of the injuries from like week 8 on, it's just amazing that they were able to function at all. So definitely. One final thing I want to ask you, and it seems like from watching the press conferences and seeing Mike McCarthy seems like he's got a little bit more confidence and a little bit more swagger.
I was going to ask that. Yeah, that's a great question.
I think
when the offseason started, it kind of didn't look good, but right now it seems like he's not taking any bullshit.
No, I think it's also kind of a nothing to lose mentality, I think, from Mike McCarthy. He knows he has to win coming up pretty quickly. And he knows, I mean, he's got confidence in himself. He even talked about that as well. Jerry Jones gave him a boost of confidence in the opening press conference, saying that if Jerry didn't believe that Mike wasn't the guy to lead this team to a Super Bowl, then he wouldn't have necessarily kept him around anyways. I mean, there's no reason to keep him around if that's the case. Obviously, Jerry doesn't think that's the case, and Mike believes in himself to get back to that Super Bowl caliber that he was able to do in Green Bay as well. So I think there's a little bit to that. He's really connecting with the players. He's finding that he can really trust his coordinators at the same time too. So I think there is a bit of confidence in what he's bringing to the table.
That's great to me.
All right, gotcha. So I know I got you for about 5 more minutes, and I know that the fans have been asking about these specific key players. So I want to kind of ask you about them before you go. Marquise Bell, that's been a huge name, and I know that he's an undrafted free agent. But a lot of fans want to know how he's doing right now.
Yeah, he's been rotating in with a couple of the guys. He's been doing some really good work on special teams, and Mike McCarthy even talked about it a little bit today about how he's been really impressed, not only with the traits, but with the way he's picked up defensive system and really kind of improved throughout the time that he's been here. Because like you said, he was an undrafted free agent, but he was a 30-visit guy. He was somebody the Cowboys had their eyes on late in the draft, and the fact that they still were able to sign him, but they had to spend a little bit of capital to get to that point too. I think they're really excited in what he can bring. And I mean, he almost brings a Jalen Curse sort of mentality and sort of skill set with a big bodied safety that can come down into the box, who can play almost a hybrid safety linebacker sort of role, kind of like Curse did last year when he had 90 plus tackles. He doesn't need to be Curse just at this moment, but if he's somebody that can build into that and continue to provide help on special teams in doing so, I think there's a lot of excitement around him, especially from the coaching staff.
So what about Donovan Wilson? Because in hearing that, it's like, okay, where does Donovan Wilson fit in with all of this?
I still think Donovan Wilson's the third guy in the safety room. I mean, outside of Curse and Malik Hooker, I think Donovan Wilson's still that third guy. I would put Bell in the fourth on down category of a guy who's going to play majority of the time on special teams and then work into the rotation at safety very sporadically throughout his rookie season. But with with Donovan Wilson specifically, you want him to go back to the playmaking ability he showed back in the latter half of the 2020 season. I mean, there were couple weeks there, especially against Philadelphia late, where he was really a game wrecker in that winning streak in 2020. And if they can get back to that, where he can sporadically find a big play here or force a turnover there while rotating in with a Curse and with a Malik Hooker, he's kind of that middle ground who can play a little bit of the strong safety, a little bit of the free, and kind of go back and forth. I think that's exactly the type of role that Dan Quinn would envision for a guy like Donovan Wilson, and I think he'll fit into that quite well.
Okay, Jake Ferguson. I saw my guy get a jump ball today at some point. Yeah. I forget who threw the pass. I think it might have been Cooper Rush, but Jake Ferguson. How has he looked so far? I know the pads haven't been out there, but he's able to catch passes. Is he able to? Does he look like he's kind of lost, or does he look like he kind of fits in?
He definitely doesn't look lost by any means, and I really do think there's growth still to be had from Ferguson. Especially he's got to sharpen up the routes. He's got to find a way to get better, I guess, blocking. But it's hard to really even say that because, like I said, no pads, and whenever you're a tight end who's supposed to block and show some physicality, can't really do that without the pads on. But I really haven't seen anything flashy from Jake Ferguson. Today was his best day, but a lot of it was because they were working in the red zone. And then there was a lot of short yardage situations where a tight end would certainly be utilized. They utilized guys like Dalton Schultz, Jeremy Sprinkle, Sean McCune, all got targets today. And then Jake Ferguson was the fourth guy into that mix. It's a crowded, but it's a young tight end room. I think there's room for him to grow in the depth chart and to continue to climb. But I really do think he's off to a solid start, but not necessarily a fantastic one. He's not lighting everything on fire. He's not the second coming of Jason Witten quite yet, everybody. I mean, he's got to find a way to get his footing underneath him. And especially when the pads come on, I want to see his physicality and how he can block. That's one of my biggest concerns with him moving into the year.
Gotcha. And I got about 2 more. So a fan asked me about Dante Fowler, how he's looking right now.
I haven't really gotten a chance to look a ton at the edge rushers. I've mostly been focusing on corners, safeties, a little bit of the secondary, and then, of course, wide receivers and quarterbacks at the moment. And the reason being is because I know when Monday comes around, I'm not going to take my eyes off the trenches. I'm really not. I'm
So, like,
watching everybody up front. I'm watching that offensive line. I'm watching the defensive line. I've really liked what I've seen from Micah at times, but it's hard not to look at what he does, man. I mean, he's just in the gap. He's in the backfield. Dante Fowler Jr., I'm sure he's had some ups, he's had some downs, but at the same time, it's really hard to evaluate from some of those guys. So check back in with me next week. We'll see what we have in terms of Fowler and what he's done on the pads.
Gotcha. And last but not least, because you can see this part,
yeah,
but the kicking game. What's going on with the kicker position? Because we haven't heard anything about that, and we know that that's a very controversial position for this team.
Well, it's still the two guys. It's Jonathan Garibay, who, of course, is an undrafted free agent rookie out of Texas Tech, has a big leg, 62-yarder to beat Iowa State. He's got some clutch. He's got some swagger, some personality to him that's really exciting. And then Lyra Hailahu, who spent some time with the team last year. We haven't seen a whole lot of kicking, though. I mean, in terms of the media availability that we've been able to see during practice, there hasn't been any open kicking competition that we've really gotten to hone in on. So still more to come on the kicking game as well. But if I had to really put a finger on it, I would say Garibay is probably the leader in the clubhouse in that competition, but don't necessarily count out either a Hailahu to catch up very quickly, or even an outside free agent or somebody at some point who might get released from another roster. I mean, there's so many different potentials along the way, especially when those veteran contracts start coming into play, and maybe a veteran gets cut there. Maybe you go get him, and then there's a lot of different directions the Cowboys could go. But I think they're going to give Garibay a chance to win this job.
Okay, gotcha. Mark, you have anything?
No, well, hey, I can't wait to see you. Hopefully next week we can hook up sometime. No, I just can't wait. I'm like you. I can't wait to get there and see the big guys going at it. You know,
you get an opportunity to see it as well. Yeah,
being a former nose tackle, I can't wait to see the competition. I want to see how Nabel Gallagher's doing. Now that he's fully healthy, I definitely want to see, is this Tristan Hill's last stand if he's going to make the team? And I definitely want to see Sam Williams on that edge, because that speed that he has looks just scary.
Yeah, like there were so many more people that had, but we said he watched the trenches. I was just like, okay, yeah, I can wait until Monday. I'll wait.
Yeah,
that's where you'll find me with the defensive line out there, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. Kyle, I appreciate you for stopping by, man. Where can the people find you so that they can see your articles and they can, if you're on Twitter a little bit?
Yeah, my Twitter handle is this right here. It's at Kyle_Youmans, and you can type that in. I'll most likely come up, I guess. And then catch us on DallasCowboys.com. We've got Talking Cowboys coming up on Monday. Inside Cowboys training camp. We've got training camp live on YouTube right now. So many different things. The team is working really, really hard out here and trying to provide the best content for all the fans out there. And you guys keep up the good work as well. Look forward to talking with you again soon.
All right. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much.
Yep, absolutely. See y'all.
See you.
Shout out to my man DMV getting Kyle up in here, buddy. Great job. Definitely had a lot of insight. I'm with him. I can't wait till the pads come on, because that's when you really that's it. Like Nabel Gallimore said, that's when you smack them, and you start getting out there and really getting after them. But you're right. They have been looking like they've been very, very physical so far in practice.
Oh, they want to get after it so bad. You got to. Like, I mean, you've had children, so you see them fighting. You're like, stop. That's just what it looks like the whole time. Like, you just got to kind of keep them off each other.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait. So, it's been a long evening here. This is almost like a game day here.
Yeah, I know.
Started out, 3 live streams here in a row.
But we got to give the people what they want.
Well, is this what they want? Because it seems like.
Are you not entertained?
It seems like the Eagle fans, they're just here to go ahead and stir some shit up and all that.
Well, let's stir some shit up then. What they want. They haven't beat us in 3 games. I mean, what they want.
I tell you what I actually like, because, the Cowboys, I hate to say it, but whenever we're expected to do something, we always fall on our face.
We're not expected to do shit.
Right. And he's saying, you think some of these guys have a chip on their shoulder. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
I want them to be pissed off and taking it out on the competition.
Yeah.
I want, when they play the Eagles, that they do 51-3.
You mean like how they get on that Monday night when the Eagles they were supposed to whoop us then? Do you remember? They were supposed to whoop us.
Shout out to Ava. Ava says that was a great interview. That was good. Yeah, that was great. So shout out to, again. See, this is what you get. You guys don't understand this. This is what you get when you go to my man DMV's channel. DMV's got the hookups. He is actually meeting with a lot of the great talent that's out there. Me, you just get this old ass with all this stuff. And I can't believe people are actually saying that I dye my hair. All this freaking gray and shit that I got.
They saying that you're dyeing it gray. I mean,
I think they're trying to, because most of my gray is on my sides. I think they're trying to say I dye the top of it.
No, low key, I found my first gray like the other day, like a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
See, what you'll find out is grays come through overnight. And they come out like a corkscrew. Like, why? It's like that wasn't.
It's actually fun. You want to know where I found? I found it in my nose.
Oh yeah, those are worse. And don't try and pull that sucker because that.
I did pull it. Yeah, it was gone.
Your eye starts working. Like, oh, that hurt. I asked him. I was like, "How you pluck eyebrows and all?" I said, "That shit hurt."
Yeah.
Oh man, Michael, you're very, very welcome. This was definitely my pleasure. This gets me hyped up for getting out of here on Monday and getting to Oxnard. I got so much work to do between now and then, but damn.
You got to make sure you find Rob, too. If you got Kyle and Rob as the Cowboy staffers, man, look, you golden out there. So I'll definitely I'll reach out to Rob and tell him that you're heading out that way as well.
Okay. That would be one. Well,
the guy you want to meet is Derek, the head guy, Derek Eagleton. Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, Derek. I'm trying to remember if I got an email. No, that was it. The Cowboys? No, that was Law that got that.
Well, me and Derek on LinkedIn, we follow each other on LinkedIn, and I know he was looking at like my stuff for a little bit. So,
okay,
but I don't have anything DMV on there, so probably put 2 and 2 together because I used to go by John G, but then you guys start calling me DMV, so I just stuck with DMV.
How did you get the name DMV?
Well, it was DMV Dallas Cowboys at first. That's how, and then y'all you just kept calling me DMV, and everybody just kept calling me DMV.
I don't understand how I got to be GOAT.
Because
I think that's.
You took it to a different level. So look, Shango was just ranting in front of the cameras and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you brought a personality, like you talking to the people, and everybody else kind of followed suit, where it's just like, hey, I'm talking to the people that are talking to me. Law also is in on that as well. It's actually funny because Law is kind of Law is definitely a GOAT, but Law is a godfather at this point now too. And then you got guys like Will Still stepping in and being
young guns.
Yeah, the young guns. I'm technically part of the young guns. Technically,
I feel all of y'all like my kids.
Yeah,
I mean honestly, I feel like I'm the old like Papa Smurf here. Okay, that's me, Papa Smurf.
But there is no Cowboys YouTube without you. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knows that. I mean, even like the Eagles fans, the Washington fans, the New York fans, like who's the channel that they come to do the most trolling? It's yours.
They live on my channel.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, salute.
And I think it's because I keep feeding the trolls. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, you mean like the stinking Giants fan, like where you can't even get them out your house now at this point?
I actually feel bad for Rashid. Rashid has been beat down so bad with the Giants the last few years. It's like he's got no fight left.
Yeah, you remember last year when he kind of cried when they lost? Like, don't fumble it, Danny. Don't fumble it, Danny.
Damn, Ava.
Ava hooked you up.
Damn, is there?
Ava.
Right, here's what I think. There's one more wing over there.
We got 2, so I'll do one.
Oh Lordy.
Ava.
All right, Ava. I'm gonna give you this hot wing.
You got to do the hottest of the hot though.
Oh hell!
You got to do the Daves.
Oh, Dave. Oh. Okay, this one if you put enough of this on here, it'll make your eyes bleed. And I don't know. Look, see, and why they got this big opening on this thing? Because it's thick like ketchup. This is what's scary. I want you to see how thick this hot sauce is. Look. Oh man.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh Lordy. That's a good bit that's on there now.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah. Oh my God. I got a whiff of it. It made my tongue wet. And my eyes just kind of were like, no, step away. All right, Ava. This is for you. All the way to Alaska. Mm.
Yeah, I got some on here, man.
Mm.
Ava, the things we do for Avas. A is for Ava.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I got some on there.
Mm.
Damn, I got some on the lip.
Mm. Oh.
Oh, damn.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh. And I got some on the finger.
Ooh.
Damn it, man. I feel that on the way down. Oh.
Thanks, Ava. I appreciate that. Mm.
I'm trying to get the rest of the wing so it's not so hot.
Charles Weed says there's nothing wrong with it. You're right about that. Mm. Oh, man.
I might gotta go back outside, bro.
Ooh. Yeah, I only I have left is a bottle of water here, and I'm not trying to take any water with it. Woo! Mm.
Yeah, man, I gotta go back outside. You need something?
Hook a brother up with them too. Woo! All righty, good people. Man. Woo! That felt good. Whew. Okay, I feel good now. DMV. Whew. I see. I'm gonna need to get a good supply of these purple ones. They go down with hot food.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Whew.
Are we ready to end this thing for the night?
Yeah, man. We're definitely gonna end it for the night. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell each time I come out with content. Mark, where can the people find you?
Right here, Jobu Sports Report, and come Monday afternoon, we'll be in Oxnard. And man, that one was so hot, my ears just popped.
Yeah, man. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I can't let y'all see how bad I'm about to act after this.
I've never had my ears pop before from hot. That one is bad. That one is the lower one. It gets you, but not like that one. That one is just vicious.
Appreciate you, my guy, CB. Hey, guys, FinTake with CB83. This is my buddy. He's my teammate at Howard University. He just started a channel for the Dolphins. Y'all go subscribe and check him out.
Whew. And with that being said, I appreciate you good people. I don't know if it'll actually work because I've got all the mics unplugged, but we're going to try and turn out the lights. Let's see. Are we? Okay, actually we're not. But you know what? It's too hot. We're just going to go. Peace. Okay, we're off. That one is a killer, man.